Have you guys ever been stuck at one rank, wondering what you need to improve on to make it into the next rank? I've been playing since preseason and have put about 700 hours now into 2v2, and today I'm going to share all of my best tips with you guys, so without further ado, let's get started. Let's start with the basics, the kickoff. I've been doing my own kickoff since I've started really, and for the last 3 seasons I've been doing it the same way now. I start by driving at the ball with boost, I then let go of the boost, press jump, and push down on the analog stick. This lines you up for a stall into the ball. It's important to know that when you're going for the stall, you have to make sure that you let go of the analog stick before stalling, otherwise you'll flip and you'll mess up your kickoff. The reason this kickoff is extremely good is that it allows you to keep your flip accessible, boost full, and allows you to keep the ball in your control. Another type of kickoff is one where you drive at the ball, point up right before you touch it, and then immediately go back as you allow your teammate to come up and over you for the ball. Just make sure that as soon as you get the touch up to your teammate, you rotate behind him in case he loses his 50. Alright guys, let's move on to rotations and defense. Most decision making comes down to game sense and how much time you've spent in the game, but I'm going to break it down into a few points that should make all the difference and make it easy for you to decide when you should go for the ball and when to stay back. Alright guys, if you've ever been alone on defense sitting in the net and didn't know when to rotate out, this one is for you. The best time to rotate out of the net when the ball is lower than you is when the ball comes up towards your net off of a bounce. As soon as a bounce occurs, the only way the ball can move is straight up to straight right, 3 o'clock. This is because when the ball bounces, it has upward momentum, and when they're shooting, it can only go towards your net. It's important to know that when your teammate is challenging the ball above your own net, you should wait behind him above your net in case he needs your help, rather than waiting in your net. When playing defense and your teammate is ahead of you, make sure you shadow the ball. Just because you're not the one on the ball doesn't mean you shouldn't stay with it and kind of behind it. It's also important to note that 2 people can be near the ball at the same time. As long as you know which person has the offensive mindset and which person has the defensive mindset, you can kind of go based off that, and one person can go whereas the other one can stay back. My last defensive tip would be to try to make sure you get back as quick as humanly possible, using boost if you need to. It's better to be on the right side of the ball with no boost than it is on the wrong side of the ball with all your boost. Alright guys, before we jump into the next section, I just wanted to take a second and mention that I know some of these mechanics can be difficult. However, when making this guide I had to be true to myself. I consider myself the absolute best offensive player on Sideswipe, and I'm going to let you guys in on some of my secrets, but some of them can take a lot of practice and repetition. I did try to throw in some more general tips that should help decision making and general gameplay, however for the next part of this guide, things are about to get pretty crazy. With all that being said, let's start talking about how we do offense around here. Okay guys, here's one of my 50-50 tips. I'm going to place a black triangle on screen and try to walk you guys through it. When an opponent jumps out from their net and down towards where the ball would be to challenge you, they only have momentum downwards and towards your side of the field. If you can basically create a wall on the other side of the ball with your car, you'll always be able to 50 the ball into the floor and keep possession of it. If you want to get fancy with it, you can even stall into the wall instead of pancaking the ball, and it'll give you better counter momentum, and it'll look like this. Here's an example of it being used. However, when making this video, I've noticed that in higher level gameplay, the same fundamentals look a little bit more complex. Alright, on to my next offensive tip. Don't be afraid to give yourself space even when you're the one on offense. Sometimes the best time to go for the ball isn't immediately, and you should wait before you make your move. It can be tough to figure this out, but just know that it's okay to give your opposition space even when you're the one that's on offense. I don't have footage of this, but when you're playing with random teammates, it's always better to be safe than sorry. If the ball pops up in front of the opponent's net and there's an 80% chance you'll make it, but you know that the opponent will make it in the net if you miss because your teammate isn't in position, then just don't go for it. Seriously, with randoms it's always better to just play it safe. That's all I have to share with you guys today. Unfortunately, this video is extremely tough for me to make, and I realize that a lot of it just comes with practice. If you guys have anything that you have specific questions about or would like me to make a video regarding, like maybe actual mechanics, then let me know in the comments below. Take it easy, guys.